So why don't Icelanders ever play hide and seek? Because they always peek. Welcome, folks. That's just a little taste of the humor we're keeping alive as we dive into the fascinating world of Iceland. From its stunning landscapes to the charming quirks of its people, there's never a dull moment. So, grab a snack, snuggle up, and get ready for an adventure that's as cool as Icelandic glaciers. Now, sit tight as we embark on a journey to the land of fire and ice without leaving your cozy couch. Have you ever seen a chicken crossing a road in Iceland? Me neither, but I did see a puffin try. Now, imagine a puffin, with its tuxedo-like black and white feathers and a beak that seems to have been dipped in a painter's palette, waddling across an Icelandic road. It's quite the sight, I tell you. They're a bit clumsy on land, but don't let that fool you. As soon as they take flight, or dive into the chilly North Atlantic waters, they show off their true acrobatic skills. But puffins aren't the only stars of the Icelandic wildlife show. Oh no, far from it. Picture this. You're driving through the vast open landscapes, perhaps with a backdrop of glacier-capped mountains or fields of purple lupine flowers, when suddenly you spot a fluffy white blob in your peripheral vision. You squint, you stare, and then it hits you. It's an Icelandic sheep, casually grazing on the side of the road, as if it's the most normal thing in the world. Speaking of normal, how about the Icelandic horse? These small yet sturdy creatures are as Icelandic as it gets. With their shaggy coats and charmingly small stature, they might be mistaken for ponies. But don't you dare call them that. They're horses, all right, and quite proud ones at that. They're known for their unique gait called the tolt, which is as smooth as a hot knife through butter. It's a sight to see. These encounters with Icelandic wildlife, set against the backdrop of a country where fire and ice coexist, make for experiences that are as unique as they are amusing. From stunning fjords to bubbling geysers, the landscapes of Iceland serve as a perfect stage for these funny and fascinating encounters. Just remember, in Iceland, it's not the chicken that crosses the road, but the puffin. You know what they say about Iceland weather? If you don't like it, wait 5 minutes. Ah, the wild and unpredictable Icelandic weather. It's like a moody artist, constantly changing its mind. One moment, you're basking in bright sunshine, soaking up the crisp, cold air, and the next, you're in the middle of a snowstorm, wondering where all the light went. Imagine this. You're out there feeling like a Viking, ready to conquer the day, and then, out of nowhere, the skies darken, the winds pick up, and you're caught in a blizzard that would make a polar bear say, "Nope, too cold for me." But don't fret. Just as quickly as it started, it will stop. And then, there's sunshine again. It's like the weather's playing peekaboo with you, but that's the charm of Iceland. It's unpredictable, it's wild, and it always keeps you on your toes. And the best part? The weather's got a sense of humor too. It's like it's saying, "Thought you'd have a sunny day, did you? Well, how about a little snow to keep things interesting?" You might think you're prepared. You've got your weather app, your fancy gear, but the Icelandic weather laughs at your plans. It's got its own plans, and trust me, they are much more exciting. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds like a lot of trouble. Why would anyone want to deal with this? Well, let me tell you, there's nothing quite like experiencing the raw, untamed beauty of Iceland. The sudden changes in weather, the stark contrasts, it all adds to the adventure, making every moment in this beautiful country a story worth telling. And here's a pro tip for all you adventurers out there. When packing for Iceland, always pack a swimsuit and a snowsuit. Yes, you heard me right. A swimsuit and a snowsuit. Because in Iceland, you never know when you'll be dipping in a hot spring or making a snow angel. So always pack a swimsuit and a snowsuit. You never know which one you'll need. Ever tried a hot dog with everything on it? Well, in Iceland, everything means a whole different thing. Ah, the Icelandic cuisine. A culinary adventure that's just as wild and unpredictable as the Icelandic weather we just experienced. It's far from your typical burgers and fries, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Let's start with the Icelandic hot dog, or pilsner. This isn't just any old hot dog, folks. It's topped with raw onions, crispy fried onions, ketchup, sweet brown mustard and remoulade, a sauce made with mayo, capers, mustard and herbs. And the hot dog itself is a blend of lamb, pork, and beef. It's a symphony of flavors that dances on your tongue and leaves you wanting more. Now, how about something a little more unique? Ever heard of hakarl? Translated as fermented shark, it's a traditional Icelandic dish that's as intriguing as it sounds. Imagine catching a Greenland shark, burying it in a shallow hole, and letting it ferment for up to 12 weeks. The result? A delicacy that's been described as having a strong ammonia-rich smell and a fishy taste. And of course, we can't forget about the infamous svid, or a sheep's head. Yes, you heard that right. It's exactly what it sounds like. A sheep's head that's been singed to remove the fur, boiled with the brain removed, and often eaten with mashed turnip and potatoes. The cheeks are considered the best part. Then there's the rugbrod, a dark rye bread that's actually baked underground using geothermal heat. It's dense, sweet, and often served with smoked lamb or fish. And for dessert, how about a bit of skyr? It's a creamy dairy product that's been a part of Icelandic cuisine for over 1,000 years. It's similar to yogurt, but thicker and with a milder flavor. Trying Icelandic cuisine for the first time is an experience like no other. It's a roller coaster of flavors and textures, with each dish offering a new surprise. And you thought pineapple on pizza was controversial? Icelandic is the only language where Eyjafjallajökull is considered a word and not a keyboard smash. Yep, you heard that right. Icelandic is known to be one of the most difficult languages to learn. But don't let that scare you. It's also one of the most interesting and humorous languages out there. Let's talk about the complexity of Icelandic. It's an old language, largely unchanged for over 1,000 years. It's full of characters and sounds that are non-existent in many other languages. Like D, which sounds like the in those, or the that sounds like the in thing. And let's not forget the numerous vowels with accents, each with its own unique sound. Now on to the humor of Icelandic. Have you ever heard of a place called Vaðlaheiðar vegavinuverk feragimslu skurautidira liklakipuringur? Yep, that's right. It's the longest word in Icelandic, and it means a keychain ring for the outdoor key of road workers shed in a moor called Vaðlaheiði. Talk about being specific. And the translations, Some Icelandic words are so direct and literal that they're hilariously funny. Take tölva, for example. It's the Icelandic word for computer, but it literally translates to numbers which, or geimfarar, which means astronaut. But in Icelandic, it's space traveler. And if you think that's strange, let's talk about Eyjafjallajökull. Remember that volcano that erupted back in 2010 and caused chaos for air travel across Europe? Well, in Icelandic, Eyjafjallajökull literally means island mountain glacier. It's as if they just looked at it and said, "Yep, that's an island, a mountain, and a glacier. Let's call it that." So while Icelandic might appear daunting at first, it's really a language full of humor, literal translations, and tongue-twisting place names. It's a testament to the country's unique culture and history. And it's just another reason why Iceland is such a fascinating place to explore. And that, my friends, is why you should always have a map handy when traveling in Iceland. So if you ever decide to visit Iceland, remember these 3 things: puffins, weather, and hot dogs. Now let's take a whimsical jaunt down memory lane. We started our journey with the laughter, remember? Yes, the puffins. Those comical tuxedoed birds with their bright orange beaks, waddling and squawking around like they own the place. And why wouldn't they? They are the unofficial mascots of the island after all. Then we encountered the unpredictable Icelandic weather. One minute you're soaking up the sun, the next you're being pelted by hail. And let's not forget those gale force winds that could blow a grown man off his feet. But hey, it's all part of the Icelandic charm, right? Moving on to the cuisine. The infamous Icelandic hot dog, a delightful gastronomic surprise that has more than earned its spot on the culinary map. Topped with a smorgasbord of condiments and nestled in a warm, toasty bun, it's no wonder this is a national favorite. Who knew that a country known for its icy landscapes could produce such a hot dish? Lastly, we tackled the tongue-twisting Icelandic language. With words longer than the winter nights and pronunciation that could tie your tongue in knots, it's certainly an adventure in itself. And remember, in Iceland, it's not about the destination, it's about the hilarious journey.